Cavaliers. Now for the North Carolina Tar Heels. We know how to play in this tournament situation, winning 6 of the first 7 ACC tournaments. Brendan Carey, Mark Phillips, and Spencer Deering. Again, the leading scorer is out with an ankle injury, Merrill Turnbull, so that means more time for Spencer Deering. Jude Collins, Jason Wade, and Rob Tobin in the midfield for the North Carolina Tar Heels. On close defense for the North Carolina Tar Heels, John Fox, Pete Murphy, and Mike Shortino. And in goal, it'll be Brooks Brown. And as we look at that close defense for the North Carolina Tar Heels, and we talk about the Virginia offense, as you point out, it's not a situation where necessarily one of those guys can be called upon to be a defensive assignment against one of the Virginia players.
I think it's impossible. I told you before the game, you need to put your best guy on 3 different people, and they make it very difficult for any college team to match up with them defensively. All
right, the North Carolina Tar Heels, we take a look at the Virginia Cavaliers. Maybe this is an advantage for Virginia. Merrill Turnbull is not a part of this contest. Leading scorer for the North Carolina Tar Heels. He had 3 goals on Friday night, but unfortunately after that suffered an ankle injury.
I think Merrill's loss is really going to be felt because he is the kid that gets some assists for North Carolina, plays with a little bit more control maybe than the other guys. Mark Phillips needs to get the ball. Spencer and Brendan carry the ball, and Merrill was the kind of kid that could get the ball to some other guys, so he's going to be sorely missed today.
All right, for the North Carolina Tar Heels, though, perhaps there's definitely an advantage when talking about trying to slow down Virginia. Jude Collins is so talented on faceoffs. That'll help North Carolina with possession. What makes him so talented on the faceoffs?
Well, Dave, I've always thought that the faceoff statistic was maybe the most overrated one in lacrosse, but I think that today and the last time North Carolina played, you've got to keep the ball away from Virginia. And if Jude Collins and Jason Sanders can do a good job of winning the draws and controlling the ball and limit the opportunities Virginia has, it's going to be a big stat today.
And again, the Virginia Cavaliers tournament situation, North Carolina is used to this, but they're playing on their home field. How does that come into play, if at all?
Well, I think every one of these kids on North Carolina has played in this championship game for the last 4 years. I think there's some strength in that, but they're also playing a team that could be the NCAA champion this year.
All right, so indeed, for some reason, any thoughts on why North Carolina's won 6 out of the first 7 tournaments? They seem to really get up for this game no matter what happened in the regular season.
Well, I think it's because of athletic ability. I think North Carolina has always had very athletic teams, and in tournament play, the more athletes you have playing back-to-back, the better off you're going to be.
As we pointed out also, this is a great setup for ACC teams. Of course, all 4 ACC teams hope to be a part of the NCAA tournament. A good chance they will be a part of the NCAA tournament, and this is a great tune-up. When we come back, we've got the opening face-off. It's the North Carolina Tar Heels and Virginia Cavaliers for the ACC Championship. We're back in a moment from Charlottesville, Virginia. Stay with us.
And number 43, Jacob Wade.
Was North Carolina escaping with a 19-18 win at Fetzer Field, but UVA leads the Tar Heels 30 to a 21. In North Carolina, though, in tournament play, it's a different story. North Carolina, as we talked about, this is the 8th ACC tournament. North Carolina has won 6 of the 7. They lost last year to the Duke Blue Devils in the final. Our officials this afternoon, Tony Cullen will be the referee. Tommy Brannick, David Sloan, and Michael Cross will be handling this contest for the Atlantic Coast Conference. We saw the flags blowing just a bit. As we mentioned, some rain this morning, and we keep thinking whether the rain's going to get out of here, it keeps coming back, but how, if at all, will it impact the game?
Dave, I don't think this is not real rain. You know, we like to think that lacrosse weather is cold and rainy. This is nothing right now, but this field is just a fabulous field. I mean, even if it rained inches, it wouldn't get, the footing wouldn't get bad. So this is nothing more than just a little dew out here.
Is that what that is? Okay, so that was just dew wipe.
That's right.
Wiping off my brow. The Virginia Cavaliers will be in the orange jerseys. Actually, they're considered the visiting team here, they're at home because they're the lower seed. They finished in 3rd place in the regular season Atlantic Coast Conference.
They probably would like to wear their orange shirts anyways because it's an attractive color and it's a good contrast here this afternoon.
Jude Collins to handle the face-off against David Wren of the Virginia Cavaliers. And we mentioned Collins very good on the face-off, and right away he puts North Carolina on the attack, approaches the restraining line. We're underway.
Jude, here's a little opening play by the Tar Heels.
It's in the net and a goal for the North Carolina Tar Heels, and right away Jason Wade picks up where he left off on Friday night with the goal.
Dave, that is a set look off the opening face-off because Mark Phillips was looking for Jason Wade to come off a pick on the inside off the opening face-off. Jason catches it, shoots the ball, good bouncer. That's an opener. Every team likes to come in saying, let's get an opener. And Mark is looking for it all the way, so this is a set look by the Tar Heels. Oh, he even got a tweener there, and that happens sometimes.
So right away, Jason Wade, and we talked about him being successful in big games, as now Virginia will control this face-off.
Now look, they've got Michael Watson on the wing on the face-offs because he's such a terrific athlete and ground ball kid, even though he's a starting attackman, Dave.
So he could right away pick up those ground balls. Henry Oki on the ball for the Virginia Cavaliers. They work it around the perimeter. They'll take it behind. This is Doug Knight for the Cavaliers. Quickly, a note about Jason Wade. He had 8 goals and 8 shots in a win over Maryland. Well, actually, a loss to Maryland earlier this year.
He's a terrific shooter, but 8 goals and 8 shots, that's pretty darn good.
Actually, it was a win over Maryland 17-16.
Michael Watson's now playing a little bit as a midfielder. I think that ball hit off somebody and went out of bounds. It would be Virginia ball. But they're putting Michael Watson in the midfield to cause more matchup problems, I think, for North Carolina.
Take a look at David Wren for the Virginia Cavaliers. The Cavaliers to put the ball in play. Doug Knight. Now Doug Knight trying to attack toward the middle. Knight will take the shot. It's in the net. It's in the net. Goal Virginia. And we're not a minute into this contest. It's 1-1.
Well, if this is any preview of what we're going to see, there's going to be a lot of goals today. This ball just beats Brooks Brown, a good bouncer. He's played pretty good by Pete Murphy, Doug Knight. Now he's going to turn, big bouncer. Look at the thing come up off the ground.
And again, he does a nice job, as you pointed out, to elude the close defenseman, Pete Murphy.
You need to be able, Pete Murphy needs to be able to keep his stick in his hands area all the time so he doesn't have room to shoot. Here's another face-off.
Drew Collins on the face-off for the North Carolina Tar Heels, but it's actually Virginia winning it.
Sometimes face-offs are won not by the 2 kids that are scrapping for the ball in the middle, but by the good wing play. And I think that's one reason they've been putting Michael Watson out on the wings to be able to get another good ground ball guy. Look at that nice ground ball by Jason Wade, and now the Tar Heels got a little bit of a break. They're going to pull it out there and get the numbers straight. They'll wait until they get the numbers. There'll be a little subbing on the fly. Jason Wade's got the ball.
Now Jude Collins and the Tar Heels, as you mentioned, they're going to make the substitutions and get things sorted out before they continue. Rob Tobin now for the North Carolina Tar Heels. Tobin surveys. 1-1 our score, and we are just underway.
North Carolina's got a little bit of a mismatch on that transition. They've got an attackman with a midi on him, and he'll try and ISO a little bit, see if he can draw and either take his shot or pass off.
Jason
try
Wade,
and keep that mismatch if they can. Brendan Carey likes to bring the ball to the goal. He draws a double team.
Now Tobin, but the save by Chris Sanderson. Rob Tobin elected to take the shot. 20 yards out.
Chris saw that ball the whole way. It was a stick side high shot, and you need your goalkeeper to be able to take care of those kind of shots. Maybe if he had put it on the ground, let the ground work for him a little bit, it may have been a better chance. Virginia clears the ball, but they still haven't gotten it under control. North Carolina will contest a little bit.
Tucker Radebaugh, just a freshman for the Virginia Cavaliers, but he's played well in his first season.
He's a terrific player.
Now we get it to Michael Watson. Speaking of terrific players, a lot of terrific players on the field this afternoon. That's why they're contesting the ACC championship game. Watson into the middle. Watson off balance, a chance for North Carolina to come up with it. Now will Virginia put the pressure on?
They will try and put the pressure on right now. But North Carolina should be able to get the ball under control in between the restraining lines. At this level, if you get the ball between the restraining lines, you should be able to either run it out or dodge it out. We think sometimes a punt returner with open field, you should be able to run that ball out. Now North Carolina will sub and get their second unit on the field.
I can explain that. They're getting the second unit on, second midfield unit on.
Second midfield unit, very much like ice hockey, Dave, where they'll run 2 or 3 lines.
See Justin Bowman out there, remember that second unit. This is Brendan Carey. Carey trying to take it to the crease. Carey, it's in the net. It's in the net. A goal, North Carolina, Brendan Carey.
Dave, on this play, Virginia needs, when that defenseman is beat, they need someone else to come and make him make a pass. Brendan's going to go inside roll. Stick check does not get the ball, and Brendan just keeps coming. Someone needs to be at that corner to make contact with him. This is what's called an inside roll. He misses the stick check, and Brendan doesn't even change hands, just kind of backhands it. But number 44 there was late coming.
Carl Zeller was trying to handle it for the Virginia Cavaliers, but fed it to Brendan Carey. Virginia, they're doing well on the faceoffs.
This is where they're dangerous. This is where they're very dangerous. North Carolina, Dave, on that break did not slide and let the midfielder carrying the ball be the shooter rather than one of those terrific attackmen.
Drew Melchione was the one taking it upfield for the Virginia Cavaliers. The Cavaliers now, Kurt Miller. Miller being stick checked.
A lot of people nowadays, Dave, are running their midfielders behind the goal to try and ISO on a defensive midfielder. And
Miller into the net.
They may even had a flag there. They could have called a flag because I think he hit him on top of the head, the Tar Heel defender. But this is something you're seeing more and more. ISOs by middies behind the goal. We may get a little better look here with a little bit more room and time. But he's just going to bring the ball right-handed.
Dumps it in the net. Kurt Miller, junior midfielder from Blue Bell, Pennsylvania. Can you explain that? They're using the midfielders in that offensive way.
To isolate. They're called ISOs, but they go for themselves or they'll look to pass off. If no one slides, it's awful tough with the talent of these teams is to stop someone one-on-one. Very, very tough.
Jude Collins wins the faceoff. It's 2-2. We are barely 5 minutes into this contest. Rob Tobin spins. Nice feed.
Jason Wade made a great catch and shot, even though the ball was a little bit offline.
North Carolina Tar Heels with the possession. Brendan Carey.
Brendan Carey is a good, tough kid for North Carolina. You're going to see him bring the ball to the goal an awful lot. That's his style of play. He'll take a lot of punishment to get his shots. Spencer Deering again now, another little mismatch. Attackman with a midfielder playing him and does a good job of checking the ball away.
Deering actually kicked it out. He's allowed to do that.
Allowed to kick the ball in lacrosse.
Brendan Carey trying to get it in close. He was looking for Jason Wade, who was positioned just to the right of the cage.
If Jason Wade could have caught that. Now Virginia's got a little bit of a break now.
Drew Melchioti on that break for the Virginia Cavaliers, but checked away.
The ground ball play is going to be very important because goals are scored in lacrosse after the fight for the ground ball.
2-2 game between Virginia and North Carolina. The ACC championship on the line.
Now here's a mismatch. We've got an infraction, illegal procedure. I think that Virginia somehow substituted incorrectly.
That's a good point to explain that as well, how the substitutions work, because there's a lot of field position you have to be concerned about in lacrosse.
I think that all these teams do a great job of substituting, running people in and out of the game. It can get complicated. Oh, here's an interception.
Nicely done by Brad Hoig.
Interception by a guy coming out of the box. Now Virginia's got a situation. I bet Doug Knight takes it right to the goal.
He's trying to, and Brad Hoig was the one with the interception for the Virginia Cavaliers.
It's a tricky area, Dave, to make passes around the box area. That was a Virginia kid that was coming out of the box that the Tar Heel did not see and just threw the ball to his guy, but here comes a guy on the field. Sort of like the box in hockey, guys coming on and off the field. Virginia gets the ball on the shot possession. You watch Doug Knight. If he gets the ball down low, he's going to take it to the goal. Now Michael Watson's going to bring the ball to the goal.
Watson will try to do just that for the Virginia Cavaliers. They work it tight. Brooks Brown in a difficult position as David Curry puts it in the net.
One thing that North Carolina's got to do is Michael Watson, Doug Knight, and Timmy White, they're going to get their goals. They've got to prevent other people from having good days. And this is a great play by Watson to get the ball to a cutting left-hander.
And that was David Curry, the cutting left-hander.
And look at this. He's got all the time in the world, and he just fakes Brooks Brown out of position. There was not much Brooks Brown could do. Maybe just hold his position and hope he misses the goal. But there was not much he could do.
Jason Sanders against David Wren. Sanders also very good on the faceoffs for North Carolina.
Virginia controlled another faceoff by winning the scraps for the ball.
And David Wren.
That ball was caused, that possession was caused by Michael Watson golfing the ball over to his teammate. Now here comes Doug Knight, who will come to the goal almost every time. Look at this.
Knight puts it in the net.
He splits two defenders. You cannot go for this boy's stick. You've got to try and play his body. Watch how he'll just split two guys. He's going to pull it across his face. Here comes a slide. Watch this. He pulls it across his face. Whoop. You need to be able to make contact with him so that he can't get his shot off. And in that area, anybody can be a great scorer, but not many of them get the ball to that area.
Nice sound effect as well by Willie Scroggs. David Wren on the face-off, this time against Jude Collins.
Jude seems to be having a little bit more success facing off than Jason Sanders right now, and that sometimes happens. One person is a little better facing off than another person.
Mark Phillips is crunched, and now the Virginia Cavaliers Aaron Mahoney bringing it quickly forward in the transition. We told you to look for this afternoon. Michael Watson, though, he is crunched at the other end.
Michael was trying to make a little bit more happen. Could have taken the shot initially, but wanted to get a better shot. But he's a great player, and that happens sometimes.
Rob Tobler was trying to leave it back for Brendan Carey, Virginia. Picking up the ground ball, and now the Cavaliers, we have a flag.
That's going to be a push with possession. It'll be a 30-second foul for Virginia. But the play was called because Brendan Carey just mishandled an easy pass. Now the North Carolina is going to find themselves playing a very, very good offensive team with one less player.
All right, so an extra man offense now for the Virginia Cavaliers. The North Carolina Tar Heels play man down for the next 30 seconds. 4-2. Our score in favor of the Virginia Cavaliers. We have 8:34 left here in the first quarter of play. So the Cavaliers trying to add to that lead.
Extra man situation now. Virginia sets up in what we call a 3-2-1. 3 guys across, 2 out front, 1 behind. North Carolina playing a zone-type setup right now.
Cavaliers trying to work it around. Errant pass, and now North Carolina Tar Heels.
It may have been tipped. It may have been a tip pass, Dave, which in extra man defense, if you can tip a ball, look how much time is being taken away from this penalty just because they got a tip pass. Now Virginia will come back down. They don't have much time. Now the penalty's over. See that one tip pass?
Well, it's not like hockey, only getting 30 seconds. It's not like a 2-minute situation, but right away, Michael Watson.
Michael Watson with no angle, shot the ball, and almost scored.
That's why he is a goal scorer. Had 2 goals in the semifinals, and Virginia's win over Maryland, the #1 ranked team in the nation. Of course, Virginia's also been ranked #1 this season. Virginia coming off back-to-back Final Four appearances.
Now it's all even, but I believe North Carolina's playing a little bit of a zone right now to try and make Virginia work the ball a little bit more and maybe take some of those isolations away from the great Virginia attackmen.
Working behind the cage now. The Virginia Cavaliers in the orange jerseys. North Carolina in the white ACC championship game. 7.5 minutes left. First quarter of play. Watson, Doug Knight. That may have nicked the post.
May have nicked the post, or Brooks Brown may have gotten his shoulder on it. I don't know if the replay will show it. But that ball, you don't want that ball to get through there. And you can see that. Let's see if it does tip off of Brooks Brown's shoulder or if it hits the pipe.
There's Doug Knight.
Here's the shot. Nope, it looks like a Piper.
A Piper. Virginia putting the pressure on, and they lead as well, 4-2.
North Carolina stays in the zone. There's Timmy Whiteley trying to jam one inside. Jude Collins now should have a little bit of a situation for North Carolina.
And Collins, a nice interception in the middle, and now quickly on the transition, North Carolina Tar Heels.
You see how important passing and catching is?
Brendan Carey.
If Mark Phillips was able to get that ball to him cleanly, he'd have had a shot. North Carolina throws it out of bounds.
That sails just over the stick of Justin Bowman. And I mean, Virginia's possession was 6:50 left first quarter.
Dave, there's a stat that nobody keeps, what is kind of called do-overs. Virginia had the ball on offense. North Carolina comes down, does not get a real good chance. Now here comes Virginia again with a do-over. 2 tries. And you can't give great offensive teams possessions in a row.
And we see Chris Sanderson wandering all the way out to midfield.
North Carolina's playing a big drop-back ride.
Brad Hoyt. This is Hoyt for the Virginia Cavaliers as they try to ignite their offense. Tucker Radeball.
That ride that North Carolina was using, Dave, is just a deep drop-back zone. It hopes that it'll cause a lot of anxiety and Chris Sanderson away from the goal. Again, they run a midfielder behind the cage, Virginia.
Tim Whiteley looking for the feed, and the save by Brooks Brown as Brad Hoyt was cutting.
Great stop by Brooks Brown. Great stop. But you see how Timmy Whiteley put that ball right on his stick.
And Brown wandering from his goal. And now the Tar Heels.
North Carolina's fortunate to get out of that position right there with the possession.
Mike Mayer, who's been bothered by an ankle problem, but he is playing in the contest. Does not want to miss the ACC championship game. Jason Sanders.
I think right now what you'll see is North Carolina is going to do something that's going to take some time. They need a possession here just to take a little bit of time with it. I don't think you're going to see them take their first shot, but only settle for a real good shot.
That's right. I think you're calling it right, Coach. And Jackson Willie Scruggs here, 5:29 left first quarter. Brendan Carey now trying to do something with it. They work it around the cage. Back up front, went off the stick of Brett Cohart.
North Carolina needs to make better passes or they're going to be fighting the ball off the ground all day long against this team.
Brendan Carey now. Tar Heels Hills patient, as you mentioned, Cohart, now Mark Phillips. Phillips being stick checked by Darren Mahoney from the Virginia Cavaliers.
This is what North Carolina did the first time they played Virginia. They took a lot more time with their possessions.
Brendan Carey trying to get the ground ball through. Chris Henderson, though, able to get a stick on it.
Not a very good shot by Brendan. I think that he thought he could get a little bit more zip on it, wasn't able to.
Brad Hoy.
He doesn't get enough mustard. Now Virginia's got a break.
Here comes Hoy. Puts it right in tight for Tim Whiteley. It's in the net. It's in the net. Goal, Virginia.
Dave, the play's caused by maybe the ill-advised shot by North Carolina. You don't take that shot. You don't give Virginia the ball. The goalkeeper sucks it up easily, and they're out and running. Now he's got Brad's got two people to throw to. He gives the ball to Whiteley down low. Watch this skill here. Fake, dumps the ball, got the goalkeeper up in the air. Again, Brooks Brown had no chance. When a great attackman's got the ball low like that, it should be a goal.
5-2 now in favor of the Virginia Cavaliers, looking for their first ever ACC tournament championship. In the tournament, only 8 years old. This is the 8th season. Virginia, though, has 11 ACC titles. North Carolina is after its 11th ACC title. Tar Heels, to do that, they need to score a goal. But again, in tight, the Virginia defense, Tommy Smith and company, the close defense, working strong.
Virginia did a great job collapsing. Rob Tobin tried to do a little dodge and dump the ball inside, and two Virginia guys made contact with the guy receiving the ball.
Michael Watson for the Virginia Cavaliers, to the close defense now, the North Carolina Tar Heels working hard on Watson, and they keep the pressure on, and John Fox really did a nice job for North Carolina.
Nice job, and Pete Murphy, an all-ACC defenseman, does a nice job. Look at Virginia, they're not conceding the clear. They don't concede the clear, and they cause a turnover. Now they're right back down the Tar Heels' throats.
Here comes Drew Melchione. But from behind, it's knocked away by Jude Collins.
See how dangerous they are. They did not concede the clear. Here's a quick shot by Doug Knight.
The Virginia possession.
They're going to try and put, obviously, as much pressure as they can every time. They're not going to set up. They're going to push every situation to see if they can get a shot off of a transition. Even what we call in basketball sometimes in lacrosse too, the slow break, the no break.
3:37 left here in the first quarter of play. Virginia with the 5-3 lead. David Wren will try to get it back on the attack for the Cavaliers. They work it behind the cage. That's where Tim Whiteley is typically camped out.
North Carolina in the zone again to try and take away some of the dodging possibilities by Watson and Knight. But you also give this kid, number 14, Tim Whiteley, more opportunities to find people. And he is deadly putting the ball right on someone's open stick. Now that's what should happen. Ball gets thrown across the inside, knocked down. Tar Heels have to come up with those ground balls, though. Now Pete's going to have to dodge this one out.
Pete Murphy, a big stick. A close defenseman for the North Carolina Tar Heels. And a turnover, Virginia will have possession. So
if we counted do-overs, here's another do-over, Dave, where North Carolina got possessions, failed to control it. Now Virginia's going to get another chance.
Look at Dave Plum, the head coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels, explaining something to Rob Tobin.
He's telling Rob, this is a do-over, Rob. We're giving him another chance. You need to get the ball down the other end. That's the best defense, I think, against Virginia. Don't let them have the ball.
Now, that's something Don Zimmerman, the coach of UMBC, mentioned in our pregame, that ball possession is the best defense against a team like Virginia. As Virginia works around, Tim Whiteley. The Cavaliers continue.
This is a set little pattern against the zone.
Michael Watson.
Set little pattern against the zone where they'll try and overload, very much like basketball, and try and then get that outside shot.
Look at a play recently is...
Here comes one whizzing over the top. Oh, I mean, that didn't miss this.
No, that was... see the replay. That was closer than we thought up here.
And Virginia has a bad pass.
So North Carolina with the possession now. The Tar Heels trail 5-2 with 2:19 left. First quarter.
Dave, watch this. Virginia's going to full field ride a little bit. Look at their goalkeeper down the other end.
And again, for the new viewers, explain the term ride. It's a form of basically full field pressure almost. You're trying to keep the team, cause a turnover.
A little bit of a press like in basketball. Just like in basketball press. Now, if North Carolina can control the ball, they can have an offensive situation. Virginia causes the turnover by the great pressure.
Well, Pete Murphy, one of the defensemen that crossed the midline and was trying to pass it out on the wing, but that's the big sticks. They just want to clear. They're not known for the pass.
You can't see it here on television, but Virginia had brought their goalkeeper up to play somebody, so Virginia was playing 10 on 10. If North Carolina can make two passes, it could be a Chinese fire drill at the other end.
Virginia Cavaliers, the orange jerseys, as they try to come on the attack. David Curry and company.
It's another do-over, Dave.
So the Virginia Cavaliers with that explosive offense, getting another chance. Oki to David Wren.
North Carolina stays in the zone.
So they're effectively trying to keep Virginia on the perimeter here.
That's right. That takes away maybe Doug Knight and Michael Watson's ability to drive.
But not David Curry. It's in the net. A goal, Virginia.
This is the shot they're going to get. They're going to get an outside shot. But Virginia does a great job. Watch where he catches the ball. He doesn't have to reach for it. David Curry won't even have to reach for it. It'll be right on his stick. Look at that. Right in shooting position. Great, great shot. Right on his stick. All he's got to do is let it go, and he's got some mustard on it, the high, hard one. North Carolina in the zone. You even have to work harder sometimes in the zone. You've got to really rush to get to those passes.
On the faceoff, Jude Collins battling for it against Tucker Radenbaugh.
Virginia's got a break.
And Virginia again, as they've done well in the faceoffs this afternoon, and coming in with the shot with Michael Watson.
John Fox did a great job of having his stick in his hands, so when Michael took that shot, he didn't get anything on it.
John Fox, a close defenseman for the North Carolina Tar Heels. Brooks Brown able to come up with that one.
That should happen. Doug Knight was trying to get an easy one. He tried to throw the ball across the goal mouth, and the goalkeeper just intercepted the pass.
Jude Collins now for the North Carolina Tar Heels. They would dearly love to have a goal in the late stages of the first quarter to try to create some semblance of momentum. Jason Wade.
Jason drew the double team early, which I think you're going to see. When he's got the ball, if he makes a move, oh, great check. My goodness.
Darren Mahoney's played a wonderful game for the Virginia Cavaliers, and now Mahoney, again, Virginia in transition. Mahoney will elect to take the shot himself, and he had some options, but
that's the best thing that North Carolina's going to have out of that is the defenseman taking the shot from the outside. Now Virginia's they got all kinds of guys open here.
That was off the post. The shot off the post by Tucker Radenbaugh.
Ball gets away from Brooks Brown.
And definitely trying to keep it in, but frustration there for Darren Sweeney of the North Carolina Tar Heels.
Dave, because of the complicated substitutions, North Carolina was running guys off the field in that situation, and Virginia had an uncovered guy. Very risky play. They try and get their offensive guys out and their defensive guys on. Okay, Carolina back in the zone, but maybe a little bit more aggressive zone. They're going to try and shut off here a little bit.
Doug Knight eluding the pressure, trying to work it to a cutting Blair, but it sails. It'll be North Carolina possession.
He was trying to get that ball to Michael Watson. A great look. Virginia taking high-risk plays with the ball, which are fine. There's nothing wrong with it when you've got the skill that they have.
And a 4-goal lead.
But I think tied, down, they're going to do the same thing.
Well, that was a timing play, essentially. It's almost like an alley-oop in basketball.
But they have just a great feel for each other.
11 seconds left as Brendan Carey brings it forward for the North Carolina Tar Heels. They're down by 4 goals. 6 seconds left.
I think North Carolina would have liked to have had a...
he's got to hurry, trying to stuff it in.
And he does. He gets what
Carey stuffs it in.
Brendan Carey on a play similar to what Doug Knight likes to do, comes inside, and it's either...
There's no room for error on this one, Willie.
No, there's not.
Chris Sanderson was right there.
This is what we call kamikaze. He's going to get knocked down, but he's going to get a shot off.
Amazing. With 1 second on the clock, so...
Do you think North Carolina needed that goal?
Oh, boy, in the worst way for the Tar Heels. And maybe they'll try to carry that momentum in the second quarter. Of course, the Virginia Cavaliers, though, with the lead, 6-3. So, 9 goals in the first quarter of play. In fact, we had 2 in the first minute of play. These two teams are going at it with good reason. The ACC Lacrosse Championship on the line this afternoon. There's your score.
On behalf of the Institute.
Dave Johnson, Willie Scroggs back in Charlottesville as we take a look at your blind stat. Doug Knight, 2 goals for the University of Virginia in that first. Blind stat, Doug Knight, 2 goals for the University of Virginia in that first quarter. 5 for the tournament. That's your blind stat. 1 quarter of play, the Virginia Cavaliers with 2 of those goals from Doug Knight. A 6-3 lead on the North Carolina Tar Heels. Again, the Tar Heels, the number 1 seed in this tournament. They finished the regular season in first place. Virginia, the number 3 seed. Virginia in the orange. North Carolina in the white. Dave Johnson along with Willie Scroggs.
Dave, I don't think North Carolina played all that poorly. They didn't play great, but Virginia still got 6 goals. Awful tough to keep this team from getting goals.
Jude Collins trying to get some goals.
Shoot it.
He does. It's in the net. Jude Collins wins the face-off.
Now this ball may be inside high on the left-handed goalkeeper. It looked like it may be.
Well, Collins able to take it right down, and now in the past basically 11 seconds, Willie, North Carolina, if you count the goal in the first quarter, now with 2 goals.
Big goal here for Carolina. That ball just beats Chris Anderson high. I think North Carolina's got to do more of this before Virginia can get set, having their middies with the ball.
Great shot of the face-off. Excellent camera work this afternoon as Jason Saunders trying to win the ball from David Wren of Virginia, but it's Virginia with the possession. Again, Virginia.
Now Michael Watson's going to take it right to the goal.
He does, saved by Brooks Brown, and Brown able to catch that one.
North Carolina will have a little bit of a break, but look at how Virginia's all back. 6 guys are back already for him.
Jason Wade now for the North Carolina Tar Heels. Watson taking a couple swipes at him. Mark Phillips behind the cage for the Tar Heels. Now Spencer Deering. In North Carolina missing their leading scorer, Merrill Turnbull, out with an ankle injury suffered in his semifinal win over the Duke Blue Devils. Jason Wade, though, he's had the hot stick and it remains sizzling.
They put a long stick defender on Jason Wade. Dave Weingard was planning. He's got his stick on his hand. This is what I mean by a big, strong guy. Watch how he can shoot this ball. There's the guy's stick. Going to be bang right in there, and he still shoots the ball through that stick check. You got to be strong to be able to do it. You and I could not do that, Dave.
No question about that. I couldn't get it past the midfield line. 6-5 the score, and Jason Wade, 2 goals. He had 6 goals in the semifinal. That's 8 for the tournament now for Jason Wade.
North Carolina needs Jason to have a lot of goals.
On the face-off.
Virginia doing a great job winning the scrap for the ball. They almost had a break. Got to win these ground balls. This is where the game's going to be won on these grounders. Darren Sweeney's got it now. He's got to run the daylight.
Darren Sweeney, though, under some pressure.
They're probably going to call a push. Easiest call in the world. You push the guy from the rear, but there's no possession, so it'll just be Carolina's ball.
Right, so it's not an extra man situation.
Not an extra man. I'm impressed by how Virginia is not conceding the open plays. Here's Mike Mayer, who was injured for North Carolina on Friday night.
His second stint out here tonight as well. We weren't sure whether he'd be playing this afternoon because of that ankle injury, but indeed he's in the contest for the Tar Heels. Brendan Carey, who closed the first quarter with a goal.
Now watch Brendan bring the ball to the goal, try and draw fouls.
Zeller was all over from Zeller for Carl Zeller for Virginia Cavaliers. Good defense on his part. He forced Carey to try to make a very difficult shot.
I think Brendan's got to bring the ball higher left-handed, then turn and shoot right-handed to give himself more angle. He's a big, strong kid, and I think he could get 1 or 2 more steps.
Spencer Deering.
What I was impressed with Friday night with Virginia is how they harass the Maryland attack, and they're doing the same thing here with the Tar Heels. A lot of stick action, a lot of chops. They're not making them work for everything.
Tommy Smith is the one making Spencer Deering work for everything.
Now Spencer needs some relief here. He's carried the ball enough, but that's great defense, great individual defense by Tommy Smith. Now Brendan Carey will do the same thing. Try and put pressure on the corner.
Zeller, the defense there for him, and it's this pressure that's causing the problems with the passing. Weingrad for Virginia, and Virginia will have the possession. No, wait a minute, they changed it. North Carolina. I believe the initial call, Willie, they pointed the other way.
We'll see what happens here. 2 officials are going to confer just to make sure they got the right call.
We've seen the call go both ways. We'll see whether it's Virginia or North Carolina that will get the possession. It is Virginia. So
I haven't seen why, but no one's arguing.
Now wait a minute. North Carolina. Well,
everybody's confused now. They need to give both teams a chance. They need to give both teams a chance to know what the situation is.
And the announcers as well.
Yeah, we'd be the last ones that give a chance to, though, Dave.
Yeah, it's 12:56 left in the first half. You're talking about confused. The players, if they're confused.
Well, I haven't seen a hand signal to describe what happened. I thought it was off a North Carolina guy for sure. Well, we're way up here.
Well,
but anyway, it's North Carolina
ball. And that's the bottom line, is the way you say. So the Tar Heels.
Now Virginia's playing man-to-man with a lot of physical play on the ball.
Brendan Carey was looking for the cutting player, Justin Bowman, from the second midfield unit. And this will be Virginia's ball. That is a hand signal we saw, but Bowman was making the cut to the crease.
That's called a backside cut. He didn't cut towards the ball. He cut backside of the goal, and they tried to throw it over the back of the goal to him. That was a set play. That's a set play, Dave. They probably had a call out. They're called little 3-man plays in lacrosse. Just like 2-man game in basketball, they have 3-man plays in lacrosse.
Henry Oakey for the Virginia Cavaliers. A little bit of a ride going on here by North Carolina.
Oakey tried to run the, oh my goodness. I don't understand that play right there.
Chris Sanderson with a pass, but Virginia, despite the difficult pass, able to maintain the possession. Tim Whiteley now, as Whiteley chased behind the goal by Mike Sortino.
That's a Mutt and Jeff play right there. Sortino's about 6'4", 200 pounds, and Timmy's a little guy, but a tough little guy.
Now the Virginia Cavaliers.
North Carolina setting back up in the zone again, but this doesn't mean that Knight may not try to dodge the ball. You can still dodge through a zone, but you'd rather stick work it to get something inside.
And when you say dodge, he's going to just go straight on.
Watch.
Knight.
But he's not getting around the defender.
The Virginia's ball, 11:52 left here in the first half of play. We are at Proctor Stadium, Charlottesville, Virginia, and we have the sunshine coming out here, Willard.
I told you it would be a nice day.
Meteorologist Willie Scruggs. Former lacrosse coach.
Virginia setting up in their zone offense, which is kind of a 1-4 look. They have 4 guys across the goal mouth, 1 behind, 1 way out front.
And there's the one behind, Tim Whiteley. Effectively, he's got a lot of assists this season, 34 assists for the Virginia Cavaliers.
It was Doug Knight trying to dodge again. North Carolina gets the ball off the ground. Oh my goodness.
Well, the pressure put on. Great pressure.
Great pressure by Virginia, not conceding it, and North Carolina was fortunate to get that ball out.
Brendan Carey, now they quickly work it through.
One of the things North Carolina is doing, I think, Dave, because, watch this.
Jason Wade.
One of the things they're doing because of the injury to Merrill Turnbull, they put Jason Wade on attack when they don't have the ball.
Out of his midfield position.
And he just got it and almost scored.
And we're seeing Brett Cohart get some playing time. In the midfield.
This is to give a little bit of a rest to that first attack group of North Carolina as they're putting their best player on attack, even though he doesn't play attack normally, like Virginia's doing with Michael Watson in the midfield.
This is Brett Cohart for the North Carolina Tar Heels, and he's trying to shovel it under.
Brett's got a nice little shot. And he's not afraid to take it.
Jason Wade to put it in play for the Tar Heels. Wade with an opportunity. Just went to the right, but North Carolina will maintain the possession and get us there, getting back to the end line.
I think Chris Gittner got a good stick check in there that kind of made that ball go offline, but Jason's going to cause a little problem here. He can bring it to the goal, and Virginia's trying to figure out just how they want to double him.
Brett Cohart now for the North Carolina Tar Heels. Brendan Carey. Good ball possession.
Now Virginia's playing man-to-man. Virginia's playing man-to-man.
Sees a seam.
Now that's a shot that I think is a little ill-advised, Dave. Because the goalkeeper could have sucked that thing up and that'd be right back down your throat.
And they'd have the transition going.
That's right. North Carolina putting their middies behind isoing, but they're isoing against long stick defenders.
Jude Collins, Brett Cohart. For a second as if he was going to crank and fire, but elects not to.
Now they've got the mismatch they were trying to get. They got an attackman on a midfielder, and Virginia's going to have to slide.
That's Mark Phillips on Henry Oakey.
And Marcus with a very poor pass.
And the interception made by Chris Gittner. Now the Virginia Cavaliers. Gittner still with it. He's going to take the shot. Brown makes the save, and now in front of the crease, we have a scrum in effect. A scramble for the loose ball. And trying to elude the check as John Fox said he does.
Great ground ball by John Fox. That's a big-time grounder coming out of his defensive end.
And he had to do it with a Virginia player coming on ready to make the check.
I think one of the nice things he did is he kept the ball moving, even though it was checked out of his stick. That's a great thing for young defensive people. Get it out of your end, keep it moving away from your goal, and pick it up on the second and third try.
Jason Sanders now.
I think North Carolina dodged the bullet right there. Now they got it back on offense. They were doing a nice job, being patient.
So they get a do-over.
They get a do-over. This may be one of the first ones they've gotten.
Getting out an official stat. Justin Bowman.
Got a little push there, but he didn't take the shot.
Spencer Deering, they get it right out front to Mark Phillips into the net.
This is a great play. Mark Phillips shot it right where you have to shoot it. And watch the pass by Spencer Deering, right on the money. Mark catches and has time to gauge his shot.
Starts with Spencer Deering.
Look at that, right there, and he can look, boom, offside high on a left-handed goalkeeper. Not much that Chris Anderson could do.
Tie game 6-6, so Virginia was up by 4 goals. And this rally actually started late. Late in the first quarter with 1 second to go. Brendan Carey got a goal and sends in 4 unanswered goals by the North Carolina Tar Heels. And Jason Sanders wins the faceoff.
Has got a little bit of a situation now. He does a good thing. He gets the ball under control. North Carolina will wait now. They'll bring an offensive guy in.
Sanders.
Just as I said wait, they throw the ball out of bounds.
The Virginia possession is Darren Mahoney putting the pressure on for the Virginia Cavaliers, and he's done a nice job on defense this afternoon.
But Dave, North Carolina didn't have to make or even try to make that tough pass to Jason, and then he got checked as he made the catch, and they had the ball. They should have waited till they got their numbers in.
Look at Dave Klarman, head coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels. Winningest active coach. If you take a look at winning percentage, Dave Klarman, very impressive 6 years at North Carolina.
Dave, there's that punt return I told you about. An open field, good offensive people can just run that thing down the field a lot of times.
David Wren does. And now Tim Whiteley. Cavaliers. Again, it looks like Carolina trying to force it out to the perimeter.
North Carolina's still in the zone. You can see them kind of packed in inside. Virginia will have 2 guys on the inside trying to go back and forth, looking to get free with their great shooters on the outside. And Timmy Whiteley trying to pick them out from behind the goal.
Whiteley facing the pressure from Mike Shortino. That's Shortino for North Carolina.
Watch Mike poking on his hands. That's what you need to do. Just a little bother. Maybe take a little bit off his ability to put the ball in the money.
David Wren.
David Wren takes an outside shot.
Tim Whiteley trying to scoop it up.
Oh, good job by Shortino.
Oh, Shortino digging in there.
Good job by him right there, but he whiffed it back into the goalkeeper, and North Carolina wasn't able to control it. That's a big opportunity for North Carolina if they lost of getting the ball out.
David Wren, he's got a shot. He takes it. Virginia with the possession.
I think Brooks Brown made him miss by coming out real high and not giving him a lot of goal to see.
7:22 left in the first half of play. 6-6 our score. The ACC championship game.
Carolina back in the zone. Here's a
Michael
dodge.
Watson with the dodge and the save made off the thigh of Brooks Brown. Now Doug Knight trying to
Knight and Brooks Brown does a terrific job. 2 stops in a row. Dave, when we highlighted the goalkeepers, that's what I was talking about. Both of those could have been goals. Here's Drew Collins going to carry it all the way.
David Wren harassing him, but they get into Mark Phillips and Sanderson.
That's going to be a move and pick, though. I think the call's got to be a move and pick.
All right, explain the call.
Well, the goalkeeper had the ball, and the Virginia guy made contact with Mark Phillips, knocking him into the crease. So that's like a move and pick, even though it's not a pick he was setting, but he did make contact with Mark Phillips, calls in the in the crease. So that's a violation, and it'll be a turnover because it's just a technical.
But still a nice save.
It's a great, but Mark Phillips did a good job of
getting in there and still getting a shot off.
They were great action at both ends by attackmen.
Rob Tobin now for the Tar Heels, midfielder.
Rob's in a little bit of trouble. Just be patient now, what he's got to do.
Chris Sanderson is able to intervene in traffic for the Virginia Cavaliers.
Now, Dave, you see how long Mark Phillips was looking. Give the defense credit, too. They were looking, too, and they were able to pick that pass off.
Davenport with the clearance, and he just lofted that upfield, and that ignited the attack for the Virginia Cavaliers.
Well, they have confidence that they're going to throw the ball down to their attackman, whether they cover it or not, and they'll win the fight for the ground ball.
You mentioned ground balls, as always, a very big key in lacrosse.
That's why you see these kids fight like the devil for ground balls. Here's Michael Watson now. He's going to get a double.
He's fighting for a goal for the Virginia Cavaliers. And there it is. And there's another example of that, scooping up that ball.
Virginia gets another chance, and this is a pretty good offensive midfielder for Virginia.
Henry Oakey, 19 goals in the regular season. Will leave Virginia's possession. 5:51 left here, first half. Dave Johnson, Billy Scroggs in Charlottesville.
Now, North Carolina back in the zone, but you saw Michael Watson try and dodge into that zone, and he drew 2 people. He is one of the most creative, him and Doug Knight, 2 of the most creative kids with the ball in tight that I've ever seen.
Well, there's Michael Watson, there's Doug Knight, all members, first all-ACC team.
Oh, good shot by the North Carolinas, and now they're out and running. He said to keep carrying it. Keep carrying the ball.
The Tar Heels were trying to work it upfield, Mike Shortino. But instead it'll be Virginia's possession. We look at Brendan Carey.
Mike should have maybe just kept carrying that ball out and gotten himself a little bit more room. That was a real dangerous pass coming across the field. If you've ever played this game, you do not want to be catching ball full speed, long cross-field passes in the middle of the field. That's when you can get killed.
Look at that camera shot. You can see the crowd on the far side. A great crowd, overflow crowd here at Proctor Stadium. As the Virginia Cavaliers try to bring home an ACC tournament title. It would be their 12th title overall.
Doug Knight drawing attention, though. He drew 3 people.
They work it out to Michael Watson. Watson, as he put the shot, was planted.
And in lacrosse, Dave, that's what has to happen. If a
Mike
boy's
Meyer.
shooting the ball, you need to be able to make contact with him, either your stick on his gloves or your shoulder on his chest.
And that's what Mike Meyer did.
I think North Carolina's doing a pretty good job.
Brooks Brown trying to make the save, but instead a goal for the Virginia Cavaliers.
Just when I said they were doing a pretty good job, they get the ball to the left-hander, Doug Knight, who finds a right-handed guy cutting to him, Henry Oki, I think, and it's got all the goal to shoot at. That's what you do. Oh, is that Tucker Radeball 16 that got the goal?
What's the replay?
There he is.
Tucker
Okay.
Radeball.
Catches it off that pick on the inside, shoots it low and away. That's a well-earned goal by Virginia, but it was on a do-over.
First goal for the Virginia Cavaliers in the second quarter, and they reclaim the lead 7-6 after leading after 1, 6-2, and Tucker Radeball, just a freshman, putting it in the net. Under 5 minutes left. Call made, and it will be Virginia possession. Explain the call.
Well, there was an infraction on the face-off. Either he moved or he kicked his stick. There can be a number of things.
Radeball cutting again. It's an infraction against Jude Collins.
Now you watch how Virginia just forced the ball in. They didn't slow up.
Pete Murphy did a nice job to bring it across midfield.
See how he carried the ball, though, a little bit further, got a little bit more field? That's what Mike Shortino should have done the last time he had it.
Spencer Deering has it now for the North Carolina Tar Heels. Rob Tobin awaits.
Now, North Carolina's either going to have a set play, or they're going to be patient, or I don't know what I'm talking about.
One of those three options.
They need to keep the ball down at this end of the field. Even if no more goals are scored, it's still 6-7.
Trailing by 1, the Tar Heels, after they fought back down, making the cut. Mark Phillips, here comes Phillips, it's in the net.
Now that was a great play, because Virginia tried to play him a little aggressively, and Mark got a back door. But look where he shoots this ball. Look where he shoots this ball, high inside on the left-handed goalkeeper. Right on his inside.
So Mark Phillips.
You're going to see it over his right shoulder. Boom. Look at that. And poor Chris Anderson, there's not much you can do, because that's where he doesn't have a stick or a body part.
Able to get around the midfielder, Kirk Miller.
He went back door on him because Virginia, I was just going to comment that Virginia was going to try and probably tighten up to make him go to the goal, and that they almost propelled North Carolina into that.
Jason Sanders, that's Tucker Radeball really working on Jason Sanders after Sanders.
And he causes the turnover.
Well, that's why, even though he lost the face-off, he kept the pressure on.
Now that shouldn't happen. A Division I midfielder should be able to make the pass, even under pressure, should be able to make the pass to a teammate. Now, North Carolina's coming out a little bit here, playing him a little bit. And to the back, it's an in and out. Even though I think Mark Phillips forced him back in, once that ball goes, so look at this now. North Carolina's got a little bit of a situation.
And they got the whistles blowing. Now, once you bring it out of your own end and pass that restraining line, you can't put it back in. As you said, Mark Phillips had pushed him in. And
that's right.
Virginia calls a timeout here. This is what the whistle was all about. North Carolina unhappy because they thought they had the break.
They may have had some, but apparently they just had not gotten acknowledged in time, but they had called a timeout, which is a good heady play. If Dom thought, oh my goodness, we're not set, that's a good heady play by Virginia.
Dom Starsia, the head coach of the Virginia Cavaliers, calling the timeout.
Now, Dave, that's an interesting rule. A few years ago, you were not allowed to call a timeout unless you had the ball in your offensive end of the field. They changed that rule a few years ago, and that gave Virginia the opportunity to call a timeout in their defensive end, which is that may have saved them a goal.
Just as the change of possession was about to occur.
That's right. In the old days, you could not even call it unless you had it across the midfield line.
All right, let's listen to Dom Starsia.
Help out. Every time you line up on a clear, you're going out on the field, get down to our defense. It's a 10-man ride every single opportunity they got. On offense, midfielders, you can't cut to the inside and then just stand. All right, the one thing we got to get you getting in, getting out, and when a guy on the wing has the ball, you got to bust your ass out to get the ball from him, get another mini up high. You guys are standing around too much. We get someone, heavy goes, Tucker cut.
All right, assistant coach, actually Mark Van Arsdale doing most of the talking in the huddle.
Not X-rated, a little PG-rated talk, but these are good, young, tough kids. Both these teams are tough lacrosse teams. All of them have tough kids playing for them. And this is a 2-game tournament. Everybody played Friday night. They're going to be a little sore. There's going to be a lot of emotion and guts in this game today.
A lot of emotion on the stands as well as you look at that crowd on what is turning out to be a glorious afternoon here in Charlottesville. And I think we need to mention 12 teams make the NCAA tournament, Willie. And really, Virginia, North Carolina, they know they're going to be a part of the NCAA tournament, but this is a chance to impress the selection committee, perhaps to get a first-round bye.
Well, it's not. They're going to look at the record, but that first-round bye is big. To be able to play 2 games less or 1 game less is always better in the tournament.
Jude Collins with the ball for the North Carolina Tar Heels. 7-7 the score, 3:34 left, first half of play from Charlottesville, Virginia.
Dave, while we were watching Jude with the ball, North Carolina was running a little fish hook to try and free up Jason Wade's left hand coming off a double pick, and Virginia did a great job of defending it.
Brendan Carey working hard. Chris Sanderson makes the save. And Drew Melchioti comes up with it for the Virginia Cavaliers. And
he's going to try and punt return it out. Look, he finds
Brad Hoig. Here comes Hoig, and Hoig has been good on the breakaway once before. Coming back, Drew Melchioti does well to flag that one.
North Carolina did a terrific job getting back on defense. They had all their defenders back in the box area.
One left, go through.
Doug Knight now for the Virginia Cavaliers.
Now Virginia just had an errant pass, but they had North Carolina in a man-to-man defense and couldn't take advantage of it.
Rob Tobin now as the Tar Heels come in transition with 2:39 left here in the first half.
Now North Carolina's got maybe some of Virginia's offensive people on the field, and they're going to try and take advantage of it. Virginia was able to get one long stick on the field.
I've got 4 on the field at one time.
But they may not have the defensive kid that they want on the field. But they check the ball away from Jason Wade.
Dave Weingrad comes up with it. Drew Melchioti again in Virginia.
Virginia's got a little bit of a slow break, but North Carolina covers.
Whiteley will start the attack from the right side. Position behind the cage is Michael Watson.
I think they've got North Carolina playing man-to-man, which is maybe something they're going to want, so you may see more of an ISO here.
Ryan Cohart, the defender that is on. Tim Whiteley trying to get free. It's stick checked away. Whiteley comes up with it. Now he heads to the crease and scooping it up is Brooks Brad in midair.
They're going to call an illegal procedure, I believe. Did not allow the Virginia kid to get back up off the ground. Pete Murphy makes contact with Timmy Whiteley, then kind of lays on him. Now North Carolina, though, is able to get their zone defense set up.
Minute 43 left first half. We have a tie game, Virginia and North Carolina. 2 of the best teams in the country battling for the ACC championship. Tim Whiteley now.
Timmy, although primarily a terrific feeder, is not afraid or unable to bring the ball to the goal.
17 goals in the regular season. 34 assists, the numbers.
Virginia's going to throw it around and maybe try and look to get one of those inside guys cutting to a left or a right-hander down low.
Approaching a minute left in the first half. It's almost as if they're waiting for one last shot.
This boy, Michael Watson, though, will come to the goal no matter what in the world you're playing, or how many people are playing him.
He's warded off by John Fox.
Pretty good individual defense by North Carolina.
So good defense for John Fox, and now forgot something, David Red. Rob Tobin goes up and over.
They're going to call a push, and I don't know if he didn't just fall down. But they're going to call Rob Tobin pushing from the rear on a loose ball and give it to Virginia.
There you see it. Now he got the glove in on it. I think that's what sold the call. Was he
put his glove hand on his back? So good call by the official.
35 seconds left in the first half. Michael Watson.
Now Michael will dodge. He will dodge out of this zone.
He's trying to do that there, also shoot.
He is dangerous because he gets it off when you don't think he's going to shoot it. He's got that skill. He doesn't have to wind up and reach back like a lot of other players do.
7-7 the score. Eric Curry now for the Cavaliers. 18 seconds left. The Cavaliers trying to pierce the net one more time.
Well, they're going to get it to either Michael Watson or Doug Knight to make something happen. And unfortunately, they throw it out of bounds with 7 seconds left.
Well, credit the North Carolina defense because really for the last 2 minutes, they've been trying to ward off the pressure of the Virginia Cavaliers.
I think North Carolina would be content just to hold the ball here.
Well, they were down by 4 goals after one quarter. So to be tied heading into halftime is certainly a step in the right direction for the North Carolina Tar Heels as they try to reclaim the ACC championship, which was won by Duke last season.
Dave, the sun's coming out, and I think the heat now factor is going to play into it because it's going to get a little steamy because of the little bit of rain we had earlier.
All right, we'll see how that plays a role in the second half of play. They're heading to the locker room to talk things over. We'll come back and talk things over as well. We're at halftime in Charlottesville. 7-7's our score.
Food line goes to...
As we get set for the second half of play here in Charlottesville, 7-7 our score between the Cavaliers and North Carolina Tar Heels. Time now to take a look at the Brine halftime stats. Also time for the players to get pumped up. They're ready to start the second half right now.
Yeah, halftime sometimes is just for the coaches, sometimes not for the kids.
Well, let's look back at the first half of Brine stats. You see Virginia getting the shots on goal. Face-offs you thought would be pretty even, Willie.
Yeah, and they are pretty even, but look at that shots on goal. North Carolina with only 16, but 7 goals. That's a pretty significant statistic. Ground balls even, the face-offs are even. So both teams are scrapping like heck for all the loose balls.
And that's what we'd expect this afternoon in a game of this magnitude. Again, both teams vying for the ACC championship here in Charlottesville, Virginia. Leading scorers this afternoon, and Doug Knight with 2 goals, David Curry with 2 goals, and for North Carolina, Brendan Carey, Mark Phillips with 2 goals.
Brendan Carey, Mark Phillips kind of carrying the load a little bit with the loss of Merrill Turnbull, which is significant. Jason Wade, I think, has only got 1 goal, but Jason's got 2 goals also, but he has been a factor for North Carolina because I bet he's taken most of their shots.
So Jason Wade, as we talked about, being a factor on Friday night for the North Carolina Tar Heels when they defeated the Duke Blue Devils with 6 goals. And again, you mentioned the situation with Merrill Turnbull. He had 3 goals in the game the other night, and indeed he is the leading scorer. You look at the stats for North Carolina. They are without him today. Broken ankle, I believe, is the situation.
He broke his ankle in the semifinal game, which was really unfortunate. We'll listen to Coach Klarman now give his last-minute instructions.
Come on, Neil.
Dave was talking about that zone where they got that right-handed cutter, and he was making mention of Pete Murphy, saying, Murph, that's yours, when that ball gets to that left-hander spot.
So talking about the zone defense that North Carolina's applied this afternoon.
Peter Murphy will go ball side, and he's got to expect that guy cutting right-handed when the ball goes to the left-hander for Virginia. That's what Dave was saying. Murph, that's yours, so to expect that.
Can North Carolina Tar Heels... A lot of success in this ACC tournament. Virginia has never beaten North Carolina in the ACC tournament, although they lead in the overall series. So Dom Starsia trying to get their first title in his tenure here at the University of Virginia.
It looks like it's going to be a fight. Like they say at the Masters, it's the back 9 on Sunday. Here it is, the second half in the ACC championship game at 7-7, which means it's nothing to nothing.
And we'll look for that amen corner this afternoon, I guess. Looks like Masters-type weather all of a sudden as we've gone the spectrum.
Absolutely beautiful right now, but the kids don't know whether it's raining or whether it's the sun's out.
They've got more important things to be concerned with. David Wren will face off for Virginia against Jude Collins. We're underway, second half of play.
Jude Collins is picking up where he left off. He's been able to squirt the ball out to his left-hand side. North Carolina looked like they were going to try and work that same opener for Jason Wade, but they may have another play for Jason Wade.
David Wren is on Jason Wade as we speak. Wade for the North Carolina Tar Heels. Getting the Tar Heels in the white jerseys. Virginia in the orange. Nice ball movement. Mark Phillips with the shot in traffic.
Mark hit a North Carolina boy. Hit Jude Collins with that ball. He would have room and time, but he couldn't get the ball away by Jude Collins, not even the goalkeeper.
Chris Sanderson will thank him later.
Oh, my goodness.
Over the stick of Spencer Deering. But Brendan Carey in back of the cage.
North Carolina had a wide-open Spencer Deering, and I don't know if Virginia might not be playing a little bit of a zone look right now. But Spencer kind of wrinkled himself free and was wide open. If he could have caught it, he would have had a point-blank shot.
Brendan Carey out to Rob Tobin for the North Carolina Tar Heels. Tobin trying to dodge. Tobin handles the pressure, takes a shot, it's in the net.
Virginia a little out of whack defensively. I think Michael Watson playing on the wing on the midfield, that was a liability that time because I don't think Michael knew exactly where he was supposed to go. He was actually running away from that play. If you can see Michael Watson, he's running away. That's Michael right there, running away from the play, and maybe he was a guy who should be helping in the defensive scheme.
And Rob Tobin was able to split through and get the goal.
That's a big goal to get the first one of the third quarter. Big goal for North Carolina.
See, 13:57 left here in the third quarter on the face-off now. Virginia and North Carolina, and the Tar Heels, Jason Sanders.
Now, Jason's big problem has been just throwing it to one of the North Carolina guys, and he does a good job that time.
Spencer Deering. Tar Heels set things up. This is Kohart for the Tar Heels, part of their second midfield unit. Kohart takes the shot. Chris Sanderson able to make the save.
Chris Sanderson saw that one all the way, was stick side high. He sucked that up. If North Carolina could do it again, I think they would not like to have taken that shot.
Tucker Radebon out for the Cavaliers.
He does the same thing coming back down this end, which I'm sure Coach Starsia is not going to be all that excited about. Now here's that box area part of the field, which is really, really tough to handle the ball with. That guy's coming in and out of the game.
Pete Murphy, though, alludes that, as you mentioned the box area, it's right by the benches. That's where the substitutions are made, and you can be ambushed effectively there.
You can be ambushed. North Carolina, I think, dodged a little bit of a bullet there. Now they've got a chance to have a do-over. Even though Virginia got a shot, I don't think it was a great shot.
North Carolina Tar Heels
draws a double team. North Carolina, they're going to work the ball a little bit.
Brendan Curry, that went off the stick of Chris Sanderson.
Dave, do you think both coaches said, when you get it, shoot it at halftime?
It's a run and shoot, we're saying.
I don't think so. No. I think all the coaches, if they go in, they're great shots, but none of those outside shots, the last three, have had a chance of scoring.
North Carolina with the 8-7 lead. Spencer Deering with 12:23 here in the third quarter. Deering now.
Spencer's got a midfielder and draws a double. They swing the ball behind.
Brett Kohart.
Brett's going to have to make a pass because he's playing against a kid that's awfully good.
Chris Gittner, who's the kid you're talking about.
And you would like to have your defenseman playing against a young midfielder.
Kohart will take the shot. Chris Sanderson.
Now that's a better shot and a great save by Chris Sanderson, because that ball can work for you on that, when you bounce it right in front of him like that.
Virginia Cavaliers unclear.
North Carolina's got their defensive group on the field. Everyone's covered. But they're in their man, it looks like. And Virginia, let's see if Virginia's got an opening play in the third quarter, which this would be the time to do it.
Michael Leahy on for the Virginia Cavaliers. First time we've seen him this afternoon.
North Carolina played man-to-man.
Leahy, just a freshman, part of their second midfield unit.
But now they've changed to their zone, which is a tough thing to do, Dave.
Tim Whiteley looking for the feed. It's amazingly caught, and now the shot and a save.
The ball didn't get through, which was fortunate because he had great position.
Brad Hoyt was able to scoop that in the air and get the shot off.
North Carolina's a little bit of a transition.
Tar Heels coming forward. Darren Sweeney.
And maybe Coach Klarman has told the Tar Heels, let's shoot the ball. We only shot it 16 times. We had 7 goals. We shoot it 32 times. We have 14 goals.
That's right. Sweeney, a big stick, taking the shot. Spencer Deering now for the Tar Heels. They have a 1-goal lead, 8-7.
I'm amazed how many times Spencer Deering has gotten mixed up with a midfielder, but he throws the ball cross field.
Big line grab with the interception. Leahy, the transition now for the Cavaliers. Tim Whiteley.
See if Virginia can gain an advantage now.
They're quickly trying to set up the offense and get it working. Doug Knight.
Now, Doug Knight hasn't had the ball in about an hour, and I bet he's going to bring it to the goal.
Pete Murphy is trying to prevent that for the North Carolina Tar Heels. That's a good point. He's had to sit through halftime. He's hungry. He wants to get a shot off.
But he passes it out to a midfielder.
Kurt Miller is the midfielder in question, who has a goal, in fact, this afternoon. David Curry with 2 goals for the Virginia Cavaliers as he cradles the ball. And that Virginia, they're being more patient. This is probably what you were talking about, what Dom Starsia would like to see.
They're going to dodge off the wing to try and draw the double and get the ball to Whiteley to find the open guy. Here's Doug Knight. I bet he's going to take it. I told you.
You were right on. Knight taking the shot. It'll be Virginia's possession.
I thought he may have tried to dodge a little bit more. He took the first shot chance he got. Carolina will now sub a defense, and let's see if they go to their zone. And you can tell right away, and you can see the midfielder running back away from the play, Dave. Yep. They're going to set up their zone defense now.
And again, the point of the zone is to?
The point is to make them make passes on the outside and try and cover up that inside. Now, Virginia doesn't overload.
Michael Watson. David Curry.
Carolina recovers well in that little overload situation.
Tim Whiteley. They work around the cage. North Carolina, patient in the zone.
And you have to be patient offensively in the zone. What looks like it might be an open shot may not, because everyone's looking at the ball in the zone.
The feed now to Doug Knight. Save. Brooks Brown.
Brooks saved it the only place he could have saved it. Doug shot it right at his stick. The only place he could have got it. If he could have put it offside or low, I think he'd have had a goal. That was a great look. They got the ball to a shooter, but he was in real good position.
Brendan Carey with the ball now for the Tar Heels.
Now let's see what the Tar Heels' mindset is. And Brendan usually will bring the ball to the goal.
Trying to do just that. Feeds a cutter behind the back. It's in the net. Justin Bowman.
Everybody likes this kind of shot, but it drives coaches crazy, I'm telling you.
Actually, Mark Phillips with the goal.
Everyone loves this, the behind-the-back shot, but I think Mark could have shot the ball right-handed. I think he could have shot it right-handed, but thank God he put this ball on target. Look at that. Look at that. Now that is a beautiful thing, and I think that's what a lot of people like to see. But I know Dave, if he had missed that goal, Coach Carmen probably would have strangulated him.
Strangulated as we conjugated to a verb. 9-7 North Carolina with a 2-goal lead now, and the goal by Mark Phillips. Phillips getting the goal.
Jude Collins squirting it out again to his left. He's had great success today. Now he'll take it all the way to the goal. Well, he doesn't take it all the way to the goal.
8:47 left here in the third quarter. So Mark Phillips, a little showtime. All over the Gate brothers of the late 80s. That was one of their. That's like a foul shot for the Gate brothers and behind the back stuff, the way they used to do it.
Well, Mark has a confidence. He obviously had confidence that he could shoot that ball and put it on target. That's what it is. It's not just a shoot and hope.
Spencer Deering knocked away by Tommy Smith. And Smith, a lot of credit this afternoon individually on defense.
That's a great poke check to get the ball in, but they mishandle the pass.
Now
they're going to give North Carolina kind of a 2-for-1 situation. And look at this. They find the guy.
It's in the net.
Dave, how many times the goals get scored in this game of lacrosse? When you mishandle a situation between the lines, it's hard to recover.
Ryan Beard, a freshman from Davidsonville, Maryland. Nice feed by Justin Bowman.
Nice look, and look, he's got room and time. He can shoot it. That was a great picture. He could have shot the ball anywhere he wanted to.
And the feed from Justin Bowman, who's a freshman from Maryland. So two freshmen connecting, and now suddenly North Carolina has a 3-goal lead. So Dave Klarman using some more players here in the second half.
Yeah, and Dave has to. He indicated that we're going to see some kids playing today that have not played a whole lot this year. That they may call push, but they don't call push. It could have been a push call very easily, even though that's just a tough play. Doug Knight just propels the ball towards the goal.
Brooks Brown checked, and the flag comes up as Tim Whiteley.
This is going to be a controversial call. He must have hit him in the head.
Well, Tim Whiteley, perhaps a little overzealous, trying to get the goal.
Let's see what they call. Brooks turns. Oh, and he does push him from the rear with possession. Now, you know what, Dave? If I'm not mistaken, this may be the first extra man situation for North Carolina.
It is.
And I know that Dave Klarman will say we've played 30 minutes of a rough and tough game, and this is the first foul.
This is the first extra man situation. Virginia had a 30-second extra man situation in the first half.
Isn't it funny, in championship play, the officials let the kids play more?
Mark Phillips and the Tar Heels trying to play for another goal.
North Carolina set up in a 3-3. Now they've sent a guy behind the goal.
Mark Phillips, Darren Mahoney offers a check. Brendan Carey, that sizzles.
Brendan Carey taking the outside shot, but Virginia's playing a box and one. Look at number 23, shadow Jason Wade wherever he goes. See this? They're playing 4 against 5, the Wahoos, and number 23 will shadow Jason Wade wherever he goes.
Mark Phillips.
But they get the ball to him.
Yep, Jason Wade, but as you said, he's being shadowed. Mark Phillips. And it's Drew Melchione that is on Jason Wade for Virginia.
Virginia has killed the penalty, but North Carolina gets it inside.
Spencer Deering with the shot. It'll still be North Carolina's possession. So again, that was a 30-second penalty.
Good job by Virginia to kill the penalty, but Spencer Deering could have shot and got a little bit more, and I think he probably thought there was somebody going to clean his clock when he caught that ball.
Using the technical term, Brendan Carey off the side netting.
Off the side of the net. I told you in the first half, Brendan's got to get higher. He sometimes settles, and I think he could get 1 or 2 more steps and give yourself more angle. Virginia in a little bit of trouble here.
A bit of a ride being applied by North Carolina.
little bit of trouble, but after defense to offense, extra man to extra man offense, it's tough sometimes to get organized.
Melchione for Virginia, now Tucker Radebaugh.
Virginia successfully killed that penalty. Now they've got North Carolina with all their midfielders on the field, and they find Doug Knight.
Doug Knight, he wants to do one thing, and he does.
You see how disorganized you get when you don't have your defensive people on the field? And then they draw a foul, too.
There's a flag on the play. So Doug Knight getting the goal.
Doug catches it and draws a foul right there on the head by Peter Murphy. Stops and fakes. Look at that. He was very close to being in the crease.
In fact, that's what Brooks Brown was protesting. We'll take another look.
No, ball's in the goal.
Yep.
Ball's in the goal. But give Brooks credit, though. You should make the referee.
10-8 the score. Virginia getting one back, and Pete Murphy now.
Pete Murphy's in the penalty box with a 1-minute slash. North Carolina will be a man down on the face-off. They bring Brendan Carey up as an attackman on the wing. Now, if Virginia can control the face-off, it's going to be a big play.
A very important face-off because, again, it's only 1 minute on the extra man. And Michael Watson quickly upfield.
Now, Virginia will set up their EMO. They'll bring their other two guys on the field. And they'll have about 40 seconds now to try and get a good shot.
That EMO being the extra man offense, David Wren. 6:05 left third quarter. Virginia with the goal and a man advantage.
Virginia's setting up in a 2-4, and now Michael Watson's kind of back behind the goal. Now they're in the circle.
Tim Whiteley. The feed out front, taking to Henry Oakey.
Great stop by Brooks Brown. Now North Carolina's going to have a little bit of a break.
The Tar Heels.
He should carry the ball. Darren should carry the ball all the way to the end line if he has to.
Darren Sweeney to
see the penalty is not going to be over. The penalty is not going to be over until it's a full serve now on personal fouls.
It's in the net. A goal, North Carolina.
Do you know how big these are? North Carolina down a man to score.
And Mark Phillips again.
I think Virginia does a pretty poor job on this ground ball of being able to give up a goal.
Well, we talked about the importance of winning the ground balls.
Just keep the ball alive. Mark Phillips picks it up and is able to get a shot off. That's just scramble situations on ground balls.
11-8 now, and back to a 3-goal lead as they take another look.
I'm not sure if North Carolina's still not down a man. They may still be down a man, facing off down a man. They score on Virginia's extra man opportunity.
5:27 left.
Now, when this penalty is over,
it's about to end.
There's going to be a foul.
That was it. The flag up again. We had gone most of this game without seeing the flags flying.
Now we've had about 4 in a row here. Sometimes you get a little tireder. You start swinging the stick a little bit more. The penalty for North Carolina was over.
Just ended, in fact.
And now they'll have a man advantage.
Chris Ginter is put into the box as Dom Starzer, the head coach for the Cavaliers.
Now let's see if Virginia Dave goes to their box and 1 on Jason Wade, and if North Carolina gets a little better set against it. I don't think they were set real well the last time against Virginia's box and 1. Maybe they'll anticipate it and have a little better scheme.
1 minute penalty, slashing to Chris Gintner. 5:11 left third quarter. North Carolina with a 3-goal advantage. They scored a man down. Now they have a chance to score on the extra man offense.
Now they're playing them all a 5-on-6. But they're going to put pressure.
Jason Wade, Brendan Carey.
Brendan Carey takes a very bad angled shot for an extra man situation. And the chances of that ball going are not real good on all even. Virginia started in a zone and they went to hard pressure. Look at this. Watch how they come flying out at the ball.
Tar Heels.
But if North Carolina stays wide and takes their time, they're going to get a shot right like this.
Phillips, Spencer Deering across the crease.
And that's a pass, but I think it hit a Virginia guy.
It did. I believe it went off Drew Melchione.
I think Spencer's got to shoot that ball, Dave.
Yeah. Went off the stick of Drew Melchione. North Carolina's possession.
North Carolina in their 3-3.
Jason Wade.
They're just going to try and draw and shoot. They get the ball down low.
Jason Wade. Christian Sanderson makes the save.
He wasn't able to get a lot of mustard on it. Now he just golfs the ball up the field. Look now, Virginia's got a little bit of a break.
A man down, the Virginia Cavaliers trying to take advantage. Tim Whiteley
hits the post.
Hit the post.
They're going to have another shot.
And Melchione puts one on, and Brooks Brown midfield and collect.
Jason Wade should be able to run this ball out. Look at Oakley giving him respect, not trying to press him.
Wade. Now Rob Tobin.
Jason Wade just took the ball and ran right at his defender. I would never do that.
Tobin. We're back to even strength.
Back to even strength. And we've gone back and forth, back and forth. There may be some tiredness out here. Virginia's going to double quickly.
Rob Tobin probing.
Now, if North Carolina can make some passes, Virginia recovers great.
3:24 left here, third quarter. North Carolina.
Virginia, it looks to me like they're going to try and put a little pressure on the ball. They're not going to let North Carolina just hold on to it.
Spencer Deary cutting around Melchione. Quick ball movement.
Pressure calls that errant pass, Dave.
Chris Gittner getting out of the belly box and back into the game. 11-8. North Carolina in the white jerseys with the lead on Virginia. With the ACC championship on the line.
Dave, that defense is a lot like a basketball trap where they'll run and trap somebody. You can see it coming, but they want you to have to make passes under pressure.
Chris Sanderson getting out to one of his big sticks, Tommy Smith.
North Carolina, their drop back ride.
Smith, again, you see as he brings it right in front of the box. Almost got ambushed there by Darren Sweeney.
North Carolina had already decided after this play they were going to be in their zone because they had one of their midfielders playing way down the field.
Doug Knight to Tim Whiteley. Virginia. This is Red. David Red. Red will take the shot. Brown makes the save. And now the ricochet.
I think he made it on his foot.
Yeah.
Which is a great play by Brooks Brown. A tough pass right there. Ball bouncing all over the place. Again, look at this fight for the ground.
Oh, you talked about
this fight for the ground ball. No one is going to concede anything.
North Carolina wins it, but now, not convincingly, they still have to get free. Mark Phillips now trying to use some of his moves. He's double teamed and he's smashed by David Red.
North Carolina called a timeout. Dave saw that he was in trouble, called a timeout.
So the Tar Heels with a timeout, 2:07 left, third quarter, and we talk about ground ball so much.
This is a Division I ground ball. Everyone's trying to take a piece of poor Mark. He's got nowhere to go and gets squished right there. Good hit, but he didn't lose possession of the ball.
That's what counts. He just has to find out what zip code he's in after
I think North Carolina was tired too after those runs back and forth. They needed that timeout.
And things have been a little bit out of flow as well. Both teams dealing with either an extra man offense or a man down. Let's go into the Virginia huddle with Don Starship.
Hey, patience on the offense, show your boys. But fellas, they beat us to the loose balls. That's been the difference right there in the beginning of the second half. We got a lot of time. Be patient on the offense. Take your time. We'll get something good. Get after the loose ones, though.
Now, if we get the ball to X, they start working, all right? People start moving. Let's do that.
Drive a little hard. Come on, guys.
Dom Starja, Dave, to be patient and
Dave, you heard Dom challenge his kids with the ground ball. We keep talking about the ground ball, the ground ball. Both these teams are a little tired, and Dom is trying to challenge his team. Let's win those grounders.
There's a Brian stat to keep in mind. Timeouts remaining for both teams. As we get closer and closer to the fourth quarter, it becomes more of a factor. 11-8 to score. North Carolina with the lead on the Virginia Cavaliers.
Both teams got a little bit out of whack defensively. They've got some kids playing in defensive. Michael Watson playing attack in midfield.
For Virginia, you're talking about.
For Virginia, and North Carolina coming out of an extra man situation. They weren't set.
Jason Wade trying to get set. Rob Tobin, nifty handoff between the two.
That's called a little rosy, where he'll flip the ball to a driving midi. I thought he may have drawn a foul there, but no call, and the official was right on the play.
Minute 48 left here, the third quarter. North Carolina with a 3-goal lead. It was tied at halftime, 7-7.
Good chop in there.
Once again, Drew Melchione.
Look at the speed on this kid.
Melchione, he's going to take. Brown! Brooks Brown!
Dave, that's not a very good shot, though. He's got to put it in location. It's not how hard you shoot the ball, but where you shoot it. All Brooks did was just stand there, and he threw it right in the stick. They're going to call a foul for something. They're calling offsides against Virginia with possession, North Carolina.
All right, so Virginia had too many men in one half of the field.
Count them there, 7 of them down there. It looks like Michael Watson ran over to try and prevent the defensive play, but they've given up a 30-second.
So a 30-second penalty against
Virginia.
Virginia Cavaliers. Again, you've got to keep 4 in your defensive half and 3 in your offense.
That's right. Because of that quick shot that Drew Melchiori took and the change in transition, Michael Watson felt like he had to get back and help out. Let's see if Virginia puts that hard pressure on. Oh, they're going to their box and 1. They've changed defenses every time. Let's see what North Carolina's box and 1 is, offense is.
Brendan Carey for the Tar Heels. Under a minute left, third quarter. They have about 20 seconds left in the extra man. Brendan Carey. Chris Sanderson makes the save for the Cavaliers. And he sees Michael Watson just coming out of the box. I think a bit of confusion. That may have been intended for Watson. Instead, Chris getting the big stick. But now Michael Watson cradling it.
I think Dave would like to have that. Dave Plummer would like to have that extra man opportunity over again to take that bounce shot from the outside when they're playing 5-on-4. I think you can get a better shot.
Henry Oki with the ball, 22 seconds left, third quarter.
Now Virginia's got North Carolina's offensive group on the field. 3 middies are on the field for North Carolina. They did a pretty good job of covering up right there.
That's who wants to take the shot. It's Doug Knight.
This kid is terrific. Again, North Carolina with the chance at the other end. They can't get the good shot, and Virginia comes back. Watch Doug Knight catch this thing, bring it back. This is really tough. The ball is on his inside. Look at that. He catches it, brings it back, and is able to shoot it.
A nice feed by Brad Hoig for the Virginia Cavaliers. And Doug Knight having a good afternoon.
That's a great catch by Doug Knight. The feed was to his inside. There aren't many kids that can make that catch and also get a great shot off.
Time running out here in the third quarter of play. That'll do it. So, Virginia with a late
flag. The flag, Dave, there's a flag for something here. Let's see.
A flag has been thrown
on number 16 of Virginia. This is a non-releasable foul. Something must have happened that the referee called. Either he did something well away from the ball.
Explanation coming. So Tucker Radebaugh will go into the box. We are through 3 quarters of play here. 11-9 our score. The Tar Heels with the lead on the Virginia Cavaliers. We're coming back with the final 15 minutes. Stay with us.
If you've been watching ACC basketball for the past 12 years, maybe you remember some of these scenes. Sometimes I wonder how they talked me into doing that. Making these commercials has been a fun way of telling you about Food Lion, our commitment to extra low prices, guaranteed freshness, and top quality products. So visit the Food Lion soon. Chances are in just 1 week, you'll save enough money to buy, perhaps, an ACC ticket. Excuse me, sir, I think you're in my seat. Maybe not.
Food Lion, extra low prices and more.
Got no shirt, got no shoes, got no coat, so got me the blues. Yeah, I got no shades.
Hey! That's cause you got no Pepsi!
Now the more Pepsi you drink, the more stuff you get from the new Pepsi catalog.
Got no mansion, got no yacht.
This might be the end of the blues as we know it.
Drink a lot of Pepsi, get a lot of stuff.
Sometimes little things say a lot, like this clip that lots of car makers use under the hood to connect components to the body shell. Quick and easy. Toyota uses nuts and bolts welded solidly in place. That's Toyota quality. In cars like Corolla, affordable, dependable, and now an even better value. But you knew that. Toyota, the official vehicle of the well-informed.
Simply the best.
Brian Stat. Doug Knight with 4 goals today. That's our Brian Stat as we start the fourth quarter. No face-off to start the fourth quarter. Willie Stroggs, explain.
Dave, there was a penalty right at the end of the third quarter. They called an unsportsmanlike foul on number 16, Radaball of Virginia. So North Carolina had possession for a minute to open the quarter, which is a big, big play.
So North Carolina on the extra man for the minute.
And the Wahoos are shutting off Jason Wade. They're trying to play a box and one.
Rob Tobin with the dodge. And he's with the North Carolina Tar Heels there in the white jerseys.
I tell you, they're doing a great job. Virginia is doing a great job in this defense. They've played 4 on 5.
Brendan Carey. Chris Sanderson save. Carey!
Oh my God.
Between his legs. How did he do that? And the crowd is still rumbling about that one. Spencer Durick over the stick to Brendan Carey.
Dave, that's a bad possession by North Carolina. They need to have the ball.
Extra man.
This is an incredible try. All right, great save by Chris Sanders.
Now watch
ball bounces up in the air. Now watch Brendan Carey catch it and try and shoot it behind his head between his legs. I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
The old behind the back between the legs play.
Now you may do that like at the park.
Just having some fun, but this is the ACC Championship. This is Tucker Radaball. He's out, so teams get an even strength.
They're all even. Timmy Whiteley's got the ball, but he's got a midfielder playing him. North Carolina, see if they can get organized, get back in their zone.
Whiteley takes the shot. Brooks Brown doesn't see it. And a dangerous situation, and now
there's a big collision
on the field. Is John Fox and Doug Knight collided. The ball was sitting just...
Brooks Brown couldn't find it. Doug Knight picked it up, came to the goal, and John Fox is coming all the time, and they make contact with each other. John Fox is a big, strong guy. Doug Knight is not as big as John. I think he got the worst end of it. Looks like his shoulder a little bit.
It almost looks like a separated shoulder the way he's going up.
Now Brooks makes a nice save, but he can't find it. Now look at Doug Knight coming. Boom. The contact.
He definitely got the worst of it.
I think he did.
That was a situation where both players salivating over that loose ball just outside the crease. John Fox for North Carolina knowing that he cannot let Doug Knight pick that up, and Knight sensing his 5th goal of the afternoon. So Knight will be tended to by the trainers. In North Carolina with the lead 11-9. Mark Phillips bringing it up quickly for the Tar Heels.
No, that's not Mark Phillips. That's Brian Mem. That's a reserve midi that's getting in the game for North Carolina. And they can't get the ball controlled.
Doug Knight may have been a separation.
It could be. That's up in that area. He's a tough kid, though. I'm telling you. I'm surprised he's not in pieces the way he plays. Virginia's able to punt, return the ball out. North Carolina concedes to clear.
Drew Melchioti bringing it forward with 13 minutes left for the Virginia Cavaliers. David Curry. Cavs trail by 2, 11-9.
North Carolina's in there man-to-man.
Cavaliers have won 11 ACC titles, but have never won it in a tournament format. That's been North Carolina's specialty. Curry around the crease, circling.
He draws a little attention, as he should. They get a ball side cut. They lob the ball out to number 2.
David Wren.
There's a good poke in there by Jason Sanders.
Henry Oakey probing for the Virginia Cavaliers. Oakey. Jason Sanders is on him for North Carolina.
So you don't have to take that shot. Oakley did a good job that time. Now they got the ball to their most dangerous dodger next to Doug Knight.
Michael Watson, David Curry. There's the feed to David Wren. The shot. Brown makes the save.
What a save by Brooks Brown.
So Brooks Brown.
And North Carolina really needs to get this ball under control. Run to your left a little bit.
Junior from Bethesda, Maryland. Now the Tar Heels.
I don't know why players run where there are other players, but he's able to find a guy.
Mike Mayer. Traffic, the shot taken by Ryan Beard. As you mentioned, Dave Plummer going with a lot of different players.
Again, North Carolina ragging a little bit. They find that they're able to check the ball on the ground. Dave's holding up one hand, which for North Carolina sometimes means a 1-4 look.
Dave Plummer holding up that one hand. You see it lower right of your screen, the head coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels. Spencer Deering with the ball.
You see 2 guys on the inside, and this is an opportunity to kind of draw and dump. Got some outside shooters. You got people on the inside. Brendan Gary and Spencer Deering will be controlling most of the action for North Carolina.
This is Spencer Deering.
Spencer got sort of in nowhere land there.
Brendan Carey now for the Tar Heels. 10:58 left, fourth quarter. Carey now. Searching, now the feed out front, the shot and a save by Chris Sanderson as Brett Cohart at the distant moment.
That was a great ground ball too.
Tommy Smith
has come up with it.
Tommy Smith played well after the shot by Justin Bowman. And now Virginia
with a little bit of a break.
Henry Oakey striding through.
Can't get it on target.
Oakey did well to slip through traffic. 11-9, still the score. We have a flag on the field.
Maybe offsides against North Carolina.
So again, that's a situation that happens. You see it in transition where you do not keep the
North Carolina got a great shot. They weren't able. Justin Bowman wasn't able to get great pace on it or great location. Good fight for the ground ball. Virginia comes out with it, and Henry Oakley wasn't able to put it on target. Someone may have gotten a poke check in there to prevent it.
So extra man now for Virginia. Next 30 seconds. Ryan Beard is serving.
And the Wahoos are set up in their 3-3. Now they're in their circle with Timmy Whiteley behind the goal. North Carolina zoning it up.
Michael Watson now. Tim Whiteley.
In this set, they're just looking to try and get an outside shot.
They get it! One off the crossbar. That was Henry Oakey, and it rattled the net. Now, in transition, the North Carolina Tar Heels, Jude Collins receiving a pass from Mark Phillips.
That's good action. Not great cover by North Carolina, not getting the backup, but the give and go is what you like to see in any kind of sport like lacrosse, soccer, basketball. Look how fast Virginia gets the ball back downfield.
Tucker Radeball now with 9:50 left. Virginia trying to get closer to Carolina, down by 2 goals, 11-9. Tucker Radeball, just a freshman, facing the pressure. That's Pete Murphy that was stick checking him for North Carolina.
North Carolina in their zone.
Michael Watson with the silky moves. The feed back to Henry Oakey. Oakey takes a shot. Brown gets down, makes a save.
Brooks Brown has had a couple of great saves.
Feed it, Curry's in the net. David Curry, difficult angle.
David does a great job of waiting, and then putting it on target. That's what I think Timmy Whiteley gave him the ball.
Yes.
That's what's so dangerous about Timmy Whiteley. He can put it right on someone's stick, and he put it on that boy's stick just then, and he waited though.
David Curry, 3 goals this afternoon for Virginia. It's 11-10. And off the face-off, we've got a symphony of whistles.
We've got an infraction. Looks like North Carolina maybe entered the field too soon from the wing area, and it gives an easy possession to Virginia.
Michael Leahy in the contest for the Virginia Cavaliers. Virginia playing in their home stadium here, hosting the ACC tournament.
That's got to give Virginia a little boost of adrenaline, be able to get that goal after a lot of back and forth action. North Carolina again in their zone. This is a kid who's very dangerous, Whiteley. If he's got the ball behind the goal, I think you've got to be giving him a lot of action.
Ends it off though to David Curry. Now Michael Watson. And Doug Knight, of course, not into the contest because we believe a shoulder injury, so that will hurt Virginia down the stretch. Knight, 4 goals this afternoon.
I don't see Doug Knight on the bench. They may have taken him inside. Hopefully not off the field to the infirmary or hospital.
Drew Melchione, they working to Tim Whiteley.
Whiteley can find you if you're open.
He can also score, as a point you made earlier on.
I think right now he's looking.
This is Michael Watson. Michael Watson, good defense on the part of Carolina. Whiteley, Tim Whiteley taking a shot.
We've just heard that Doug Knight has been taken inside. Maybe they're going to be able to tape him up or something, but he looked like he hurt his shoulder on that collision with John Fox. Timmy Whiteley taking a shot now.
7:56 left here in the fourth quarter. Perhaps you hear the wind picking up here at Charlottesville. Momentum picking up certainly for Virginia and Charlottesville. Michael Watson just outside the crease. They work it back out front. Brooks Brown in traffic is able to scoop it up as Tim Whiteley was again searching for the net.
Brooks Brown has been terrific. He's been terrific.
Now in transition, the North Carolina Tar Heels. They have problems in transition, and Chris Gittner, the big stick, brings it up for the Virginia Cavaliers. And now it's the Cavaliers with the break. This is Whiteley, David Curry. Curry, though, Pete Murphy closed him down.
North Carolina dodged the bullet that time. Brendan Carey should have had better poise. As Brendan Carey gets the ball checked away from him again. Here comes Virginia again.
David Curry. So game going end-to-end. Curry, the shot. That leaves Virginia's possession.
John Fox did a great job. Dave may need a timeout here. John Fox did a great job of getting a stick check on Curry before he could shoot it.
Michael Watson having some trouble behind the cage.
North Carolina in their zone.
In Virginia in the orange jerseys, North Carolina in the white. ACC championship on the line here from Charlottesville. Tim Whiteley, great with those speeds, cranking up Henry Oki.
North Carolina give him that shot. David Brown should be able to zero in on that one.
And they've had that zone a lot this afternoon to force him out to the outside. Virginia trying to get the equalizer, down by 1 goal, 11-10. David Wren, now to Oki. Will he take a shot? He does.
So he put on the ground that time, low and away, but didn't get it on target. And North Carolina backed up the shot.
And the North Carolina player the first to the end line.
That's right.
So it's North Carolina's possession. Just explain how that happens. Typically,
closest to a shot, when it goes out of bounds, gains possession.
And in that case, it was a North Carolina player. So now the Tar Heels with the possession. This is Jude Collins.
North Carolina's got a little something here.
Collins to Mark Phillips. Mark Phillips trying to take advantage of that situation. The dodge, the shot, it's in the net. It's in the net. Goal, North Carolina.
Dave, I'm telling you, you can't imagine how big a play this is. Virginia was trying to press on the ride. North Carolina threw a long pass, got it down low to their attackman, Mark Phillips, and Mark does a pretty good job of getting it inside the goalie. Chris Sanderson got off that pipe. Watch how he gives him the inside. Watch him drift to his left. Mark's going to come and turn. Watch him drift to his left. The goalkeeper, boom, and he shoots it inside. He stands there, he gets hit with the ball.
He does it again. It's an experienced defenseman, Chris Gittner. It's 12-10 now, North Carolina. The Tar Heels reclaim a 2-goal cushion, and that's also how big that goal is because it was 11-10 with Virginia certainly threatening.
That was a huge goal.
A lot of time left, and they battle for the ground ball. Dave Weingrad lofting it upfield. It's going to be loose. John Fox trying to come up with it.
Look, John kicked it though.
Yep.
Remember I told you earlier, get it moving away from your goal.
And he got it out of there, and a result of that, Brendan Carey and the Tar Heels now in possession. Dave Clarman, you see
Dave's got the two fists up now. This is for their 2-2-2 set. I have some inside information on North Carolina.
12-10. North Carolina with the lead.
They're going to get a little wider now, North Carolina. They're going to make the Wahoos, I believe, try and come and get them a little bit.
Rob Tobin go behind the cage. Tobin looking for the feed. Spencer Deering, they work it left side.
I think this is another shot on the inside, Dave. And it's another shot inside the goalie. This is what they call inside pipe. Make the guy shoot the ball offside. This is good ball movement by North Carolina. There's Brendan. You can see his stick open. Then watch where this ball goes. Inside. Was that inside or am I can't see that ball.
The feed by Spencer Deering. And Brendan Carey getting the shot. It's now 13-10.
5 minutes ago, 13-10. But let me tell you something. It was 19-12 the last time these two teams played. 6 minutes to go, and Virginia scored to make it 18-19 with a minute to go.
That at Fetzer Field in the regular season meeting between these clubs. Again, the ACC championship on the line this afternoon. North Carolina, we talked about their situation, having won 6 of the 7 ACC tournaments. But Virginia with quite a lacrosse history, and the crowd out here hungry for that first tournament title. Virginia with 11 titles overall. I don't know what value you can place on North Carolina
Carolina being in this championship game every year for the last 4 years, every year for the last 7 years, how tough these kids are about this championship. Dom's theme was, we've got to wrestle it away from the Tar Heels. Even though they're higher ranked, playing at their home, he knows how tough these Tar Heel kids are.
Dom Starsia, you mentioned higher ranked, actually higher seeded. Actually, ironically, this is the parity of the ACC. It's Virginia that's the higher ranked team nationally. They're actually number 3 this week, and North Carolina number 4. 5:08 left now in the contest. 13-10 the score. North Carolina with the lead.
Virginia has gone away from putting David Watson on the wing now, probably because of the injury to Doug Knight.
Ben Johnson to handle the faceoff. First time I believe we've seen him out there against Jude Collins. Ben Johnson for Virginia, but it's Jude Collins that wins the faceoff for the North Carolina Tar Heels. They go on the attack.
Jude Collins is really tough. He is really a tough little ground ball kid. North Carolina's going to get their offensive people on the field.
Jason Sanders, and now the Tar Heels.
And look at Virginia, they switched up, put Tommy Smith on the ball. Their best defensive kid's going to try and play the ball.
So the Tar Heels.
Great stick check. Great stick check and a great battle. Got a 10-second call in North Carolina. Failure to get it in the box in 10 seconds. Great defense by Virginia.
Again, you've got to cross the restraining line, get into the box in 10 seconds. The other 10-second call could happen if you don't bring it out of your own box within 10 seconds. But that has not come up this afternoon. That's in fact the first time that's come up this afternoon.
Virginia brought their defensemen out. I think North Carolina needed to widen out, get those attackmen working hard for the ball. For young players, the safest place for the ball is behind the goal.
David Wren,
the furthest away from your opponent's goal.
The Virginia Cavaliers.
North Carolina in their zone, but Virginia's going to pick up the pace a little bit. Michael Watson, look for him to take the ball to the cage.
They need to, down by 3 goals with 3:49 left. David Curry is behind the cage. Typically the spot where we see Tim Whiteley. Curry. It's Darren Sweeney on him. This is Curry.
Curry's a kid that needs to be inside, I think, taking shots.
Henry Oakey again.
And having Michael
Tim
Whiteley handling the ball.
Now David Wren, and time again, the clock will become a factor, 3:20. That's actually Michael Watson.
Now Michael's going to bring it to the goal, there's no question.
He's trying to do just that, but again the pressure, this is Darren Sweeney. Really working on Watson as Watson doing the same. In traffic, now loose just outside the crease. Brooks Brown digging in. And now we have whistles. And jumping in late as Tim Whiteley on the ground.
They're going to call an illegal body check, I'm sure. Being so the boy was on the ground and the North Carolina player came over and smashed into him.
Tim Whiteley was on the ground as Pete Murphy coming in late. Under 3 minutes left. Fourth quarter.
Brooks Brown's got to fight and scrap like heck. You don't want to give him an extra man, but you got to understand these defensemen. When that ball's around the goal, they sometimes go to black, and they're going to make contact with whatever they can find.
So the penalty against the North Carolina Tar Heels. So Virginia gets to go on the extra man.
And Dave, this isn't that bad a situation for North Carolina because Virginia is going to work the ball and take a little bit of time off the clock and do it unless they score really quickly. Look at this.
Through traffic, and now Tucker Radebaugh.
North Carolina gives an award. North Carolina gives an award for a tip pass. And if they could have come up with that ball, Jude Collins would have gotten a little Tar Heel foot for his helmet.
Virginia Cavaliers David Curry. Through traffic, a shot taken by David Wren. That'll be Virginia's possession.
Virginia's possession. Again, they're going to get that shot. If it's not on target, I don't think he can score.
Curry. Virginia down by 3 goals at time, running down, scooping around. Embry Oakey trying to get it in tight with his back to the goal.
I tell you, every pass you can feel every shot kind of rising off their seat.
Large crowd here in Charlottesville.
And North Carolina, watch their defensemen. They're going to be looking at the ball, trying to get a piece of it.
Tim Whiteley, Oakey spins, turns, it's in the net! It's in the net! Goal, Virginia!
Watch Timmy Whiteley look the defenders off. He looks kind of to his left a little bit, gets the ball right to Oakey ugly stick. The North Carolina defender is not able to get good contact. He spins away from him, puts the ball down and away, and still Brooks Brown is fighting like heck for a save. He saw it, but it was just too good a shot.
13-11.
But they used about 30 seconds, Dave, on that possession. This face-off, you know how big this is?
Oh.
They get bigger now.
Jude Collins on the face-off for the North Carolina Tar Heels.
Jude Collins able
with Ben Johnson.
Able to squirt it out, but the Virginia's come up with it.
Drew Melchione. So Melchione, big ground ball there for the Virginia Cavaliers. Melchione to Tim Whiteley. Whiteley's familiar position behind the cage, now coming out front instead. Whiteley's going to take the shot. Brooks Brown.
Brooks Brown makes a great save. Now North Carolina's got a little bit of open field. Jason Wade with the ball in the midfield.
Under 2 minutes.
Now North Carolina's got to keep it in.
Mark Phillips.
Virginia's going to really put pressure on him. You can't bring the ball across your face.
Phillips having trouble. You talk about his pressure. Darren Mahoney, who's been a pesky player all afternoon long for the Virginia Cavaliers.
Can't bring the ball across your face nonchalantly against talented defensive players. Virginia's still got to clear the ball and see if North Carolina puts a little pressure on them. Oh, don't want to foul anybody.
So they have 10 seconds to bring it out of their own box.
North Carolina was content just to kind of drop back.
Virginia Cavaliers, Michael Watson on the ground.
See how dangerous Whiteley is? He got that ball through the defense right on Watson's stick.
Minute 20 left in this ACC championship. 2-goal difference. David Wren, Virginia has to hurry. Mark Laverdetta, a young player in for the Cavaliers at crunch time. David Wren, Brooks Brown to save.
Brooks either got a piece of it or the pipe got a piece of it.
Cavaliers, a minute 8.
If I'm not mistaken, Dave Klarman's still got a timeout left. North Carolina playing their zone.
David Curry.
Oh, and they forced a bad pass. That ball might get out of bounds. It might get out of bounds, and it doesn't.
That's called home field advantage there.
They didn't cut this grass.
Michael Watson, the shot.
Brooks Brown
the
again.
save.
Brooks Brown again with a great save.
And a good scoop up by Tim Price for North Carolina. He just gets it the heck out of there.
He just 9-irons it down the field. And Virginia still doesn't have it cleared. They still don't have it cleared.
Darren Mahoney.
They may get a 10-second count here.
The Tar Heels come crashing in.
They got a 10-second count, I believe.
29 seconds.
Now there's a foul way across the field. There's a foul on
Virginia.
See if we can see the referee. I couldn't see who it was on, but he'll go into the box.
Darren Mahoney getting called for the foul.
Number 7, it can't be number 7.
No, Darren Mahoney getting called for the foul.
Yeah.
Spencer Deering, the player for North Carolina that Mahoney fouled. So 1-minute foul, but obviously 29 seconds left in the game, so it's North Carolina. It appears they are about to approach yet another ACC title. They're 11
They don't even
overall.
have to shoot the ball. They just keep it spinning around. If they do, they'll get a layup. They got to keep it in the box, though. They got to keep the ball in the box, even though they're up a man. Dave, this has been a terrific job by North Carolina in the second half of a 7-7 game.
4 seconds left. And a flash shot for good measure. It doesn't go in. 2 seconds left. It'll be North Carolina's possession. But the Tar Heels, for the 7th time in 8 years, are about to win the ACC tournament. They have the North Carolina Tar Heels, the 1996 ACC champions. Dave Klarman applauding the effort of his team this afternoon. And also a good effort by the Virginia Cavaliers, losing by 2 to the top-seeded team in the ACC.
Dave, it's a terrific game. 7-7. Remember we talked about the second half. North Carolina really gutted it out because I know those kids are tired, as the Virginia kids are. They gutted it out and played hard and tough in the second half of this ball game.
Final this afternoon, the North Carolina Tar Heels 13, the Virginia Cavaliers 11. We're coming back with more, our 1996 ACC championship coverage.
There's over 173 different
Johnson, Willie Scroggs back in Charlottesville. The North Carolina Tar Heels, 96 ACC champions, a 13-11 win over the Virginia Cavaliers. Our Toyota player of the game this afternoon, Mark Phillips. A busy day for Mark Phillips with 4 goals, including one at a critical moment.
He had a big goal and a spectacular goal, as we talked about it before, where he's going to shoot the ball behind his back. This isn't one of Mark's going to get a goal late in the game, but look at this effort right there in a full field clearing situation. One of the last goals scored by the North Carolina Tar Heels. This is maybe the goal where he shoots it behind his back, over his shoulder, finds the cage. Great effort by Mark Phillips, who needed to come up big. Somebody from North Carolina needed to come up big with the loss of Merrill Turnbull.
Leading scorer out today for the Tar Heels, Mark Phillips picked up, but a good effort for the Virginia Cavaliers, try to come back in the second half.
I think people have got to start wondering, particularly Virginia today, what do you have to do to stop North Carolina in this ACC tournament? But you got to take your hat off and congratulate North Carolina. They played tough. They lost their leading scorer coming into the championship game, able to beat Virginia on their home field. Is a wonderful accomplishment for North Carolina, but just a great effort by Virginia. But this tournament, everyone's got to be thinking, what do you got to do to stop the Tar Heels?
And there's the hardware up for grabs this afternoon. It belongs again to the North Carolina Tar Heels, but we'll probably see both teams, certainly see both teams in the NCAA tournament. Our thanks to Willie Scroggs for another great effort this year on the ACC championship game. ACC Sports Sunday has been brought to you with official corporate partners of the Atlantic Coast Conference. By Pepsi, nothing else is a Pepsi. And Bell South, it's all here. The ACC Lacrosse Championship has been brought to you by Brine, the power behind the game. By Lacrosse World, the Lacrosse Superstore. For a free catalog, call 1-800-PLAY-LAX. And by your friends at Toyota. For quality and value that's simply the best, see your Toyota dealer today. This is Dave Johnson for Willie Scroggs saying goodbye from the Glockner Stadium in Charlottesville, Virginia. Once again, our final score, North Carolina 13, Virginia 11. Coverage of ACC Sports Sunday has been a presentation of Raycom and the Regional Sports Networks.